It's Friday, September 23rd, 2022. Been getting some questions recently by people asking me if how the signals are doing because I haven't been recording them. And so I'm here to tell you that the signals are doing very well. And, here's an example. I've got the YM short at 31,000. It's right up here, this red line. I shorted it right at the top up here and have been riding it all the way down and continuing to ride it down to 29,200, possibly 29,400, somewhere in that range. It'll make it down to mathematically, or let's say it should. I'm playing the math. And this is all based upon the codes, of course. And, I call this out in the room. And actually what you don't see is that I had shorted it right here. And then the Fed meeting came out, shot down. I got out for 300 ticks on the YM. I got out for $30 on the ES. And I was going to get out for, I'm not sure, but I think I had it for $100 on the NQ. I was going to get out on, but I didn't get filled because I put my stop limit, my sell stop limit order with a $2 buffer on the NQ. And that wasn't enough. It went by too fast, didn't fill me. I should have put more like about at least a $3, if not a $4 buffer on it. And then I'm sure I would have gotten filled. So that was my mistake. I didn't get filled on the NQ. But my point is that before I even took this trade, I nailed the trade here on the Fed meeting. Then it came all the way back up real quick. And I shorted it again and have been riding it down ever since. Also, I shorted NQ and ES yesterday again when I already had the YM. And I've been writing those down. And I'm going to write those down to the point where the YM is going to go to. And then I will exit the YM and I will exit the ES and NQ at the same time. Exit all of them once it reaches its target. So, not too hard to do. So yes, the signals are doing well. Over the summer it got choppy. So I took a few losses here and there on the summer, more than I normally would. But it's picking back up right now. A bit tricky. The USA session is choppy and doesn't really go anywhere. But I have other codes that I can use and do use in order to take positions and be able to work around the market as best I can. Right now, the US dollar is really moving and the codes were perfect on the dollar. So I'm thinking about sending out signals for the US dollar, SGD, and it works really good. And but anyway, signals are doing well. If you want to join the signals, you can come in and do so. And just treat it as a long-term thing. Long-term things which you really need to focus on. I can show you some things that could help you to understand how that works. Anyway, this particular trade is the special trade that we get every month. And it's a special trade that only comes around once a month, and it's generally good for 1,000 ticks. Now, I already got myself into the trade because I knew it was coming up here on the Fed decision. And then I took that good entry and it just kept going down. So I just held it and then it broke below and I knew I had it at that point and it just kept going and I'm just holding it. Even when it went all the way back up to here, I just held it all the way. Even though my profit from here to here had changed dramatically. But I still held it because I knew it would come back down. How did I know? I've seen this chart many times, this code many times. So I knew what it would do prior to it doing it. Everything has been written in advance. Everything is scripted in advance. The whole entire market has been scripted in advance. And I have a memory, how would you put it? Sort of like a photographic memory. And I can remember things that happened before, especially with something like this. It's right up my alley. to be able to remember it. And when it comes around again, I just remember what happened before. It's the same thing. It's the same chart. Same exact thing happened before, happened again. Because it's the same program. Same computer simulation. So I'm able to nail the trades. I'm able to know what they're going to do before they do it. Because they're the same thing that they did before. Same exact program. Same exact chart. Just different price. So you can, of course, take advantage of that coming into my signals and listening to what I say the market's going to do and following it. You know, sometimes I am wrong, but not all that often. Anyway, I'll come back. I'm waiting for this thing to go down to at least 29,400, which would give me 800 ticks off of the code. I'm not talking about 800 ticks on my position. I'm talking about the code that I called out specifically in the room. In the signals. I called out specifically this particular code, good for 1,000 ticks. And if I write it down to 200, not 29,200, that'll be 1,000 ticks. But sometimes they only go about 800 ticks. So I might bail out at around 29,400 just to take the 800 tick. But for me, that will be like 1,000 ticks plus another 800. So that'll be 1,800 ticks total for me on the trade, which is a very big trade. It's very special to be able to hit something like this. And I'm able to do it, relatively speaking, once per month. And then the rest of the time I hit other trades as well. Yesterday I hit 100 ticks on CL. The day before that, the same thing. Actually, I think I made more than 100. I'm not sure. I don't remember now. But anyway, I generally hit 100, sometimes 200 on CL. And, you know, it's called the codes. When you know the codes, it's not that difficult to make successful trades. Anyway, I'll be back. But also, you're not going to see me very much doing videos because I simply don't have the time. I have to take care of my own trading, and I have to send out the signals, and I have to stay on top of the code. Sometimes they change the codes, and I got to stay on top of it all the time so that I'm sending out the right signal. That's a lot of work and takes a lot more responsibility than what most people realize. You really have to stay on top of it. Otherwise, you start taking losses, is what happens. So it takes a lot of work. I don't have a lot of time to show what's going on. You have to just realize and you have to trust that I know the codes. Therefore, I'm always doing well, generally speaking. Okay, the YM is getting within a target here. I've decided to go ahead and take 29,400 today. Today's Friday, and I don't want to hold it over the weekend. So I'm going to take 29,400, just 170 ticks down to go, and then I'm going to go ahead and exit the trade. Mathematically speaking, it should be able to make it. Or let's just put it this way, it has a good chance of making it. It might come a little shy, or it might go down even more, like 350, even more, even 300, even more, even 250. It could slide down to. But I'm going to take the 400 off the table. That'll be 800 ticks using the special code that I called out, and I got a much better entry on it up here. I was going for it here, and I had orders set already. It came down so fast, it hit my orders. Boom, I was out. $30 on the ES, and then on YM hit the big trade, and didn't get on the NQ. I was bummed out about that because NQ is a big money maker. But and then it came back up, and I took the YM exclusively short, and then I took today using the code. I took the ES and the NQ, or yesterday actually, took the ES and NQ. And then I've been holding it into today, knowing that it would make its big move down. So it should be able to make 400. Told everybody in the signals about that. And that's my plan to get out there. Should be able to make it here, not too much longer. I'll be back. Okay, I just want to show really quick. It's getting close. As soon as it hits 400, I'm going to jump out of the YM and jump out of my other positions and be all done for the week here. It's Friday. I'll be back. Okay, YM has reached target, taking the profit now. Okay, out of the YM, switching over to the NQ. Okay, change it to my position, and we'll go ahead and take the profit now. Okay, out of the NQ, switching over to the ES. Okay, going to take the profit, switching to my position, taking the profit now. Okay, I am out of everything, and I made $86,000. Actually, I believe I had made 4,000 earlier, so I should have made 90. I'm not sure if that was calculated or not. Anyway, did really well, hit the big trade, and this is exactly what I had called in my signals. And again, I had nailed a big trade even prior to taking that trade, and wrote it all the way down for, I believe, 1,600 ticks. I believe it was 1,600 tick trade on the YM. So big trade. Anyway, you can hit a trade like this every month with me in my signals. So you don't even have to trade every day. You can just trade this particular trade because it comes around virtually every month. Not every single month. Out of a whole year, maybe it only comes around 10 times. Sometimes maybe only 9 times. But the vast majority of time it comes, and you can nail this big trade like this. So it's worth a lot of money is what it is. Anyway, I will be back. Signals are doing great. And if you are struggling at all with your trading, you should join my signals. I'll be back from time to time with more videos. Happy trading.